Hello folks, Reverend Crystal Cox here, All Faith Church, otherwise known as Bringing Back Goddess Church. Our Venmo is All Faith Church. My email is reverendcrystalcox@gmail.com. And we're going to see what Spirit has to say to you today. I call in all available angels, all higher selves of high frequency, all available spirits of high integrity, high intention. Okay. I almost blew my candle out. Dude, that's funny. The flames. Can you see the flame? Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Let's get all cozy here. I believe in the power of the living God. I believe in you. You are the living God. I believe in the power of the living God. I believe in you, and I believe in your power to create the world you want to live in. And I believe in myself and my ability to create the world I want to live in. Spirit, what have you to say to us today? I believe in the power of the living God. I believe that what's happening on Mother Earth is beautiful. I believe that the chaos, the turmoil is beautiful. For I have seen this my entire life. And I have felt so alone in it. And now, everywhere, people are seeing it. People are speaking their truth. People are calling out to their God. Everywhere. People are seeing what the governments of man are doing. And they're understanding that if they just say no, no means no. The government doesn't have power over them. If you don't believe in the government, they don't have power over you. It's easier said than done, believe me, I know. I've been working on it for a long time. I find it frustrating when spiritual gurus or channelers or shamanic healers just say, well, you created your reality, you chose your mission when you came here, and your belief creates your reality. Well, how do I change my belief? Well, you face your shadow, you face your dark. Okay, right. So I know, and I do believe, that if I don't believe in the government, it doesn't exist. However, I'm not there yet. And I have known for decades that the government withholds cures. I have known, YouTube will probably delete this. They deleted one of my videos last week talking about cancer. So if you follow me on YouTube, also check my Rumble channel, Reverend Crystal Cox at Rumble. They're really cracking down on the truth. Everything is curable. If you believe that you have to go to a doctor and cut off a body part to be your real self, that's not sacred, that's not holy. That's what YouTube and the establishment wants you to believe. Wants you to believe that you need the governments of man and man-made drug companies and a man-made money system, or you're not okay. You need to look the way the governments of man say you need to look. You need to inject what they say you need to inject. You're not you unless they say you're you. More and more people are, let's not say waking up. Let's not say awakening to the truth. Let's say learning about themselves, becoming self-aware. Who am I really? Who am I without the government's label? Who am I without who someone says is good looking or smart or successful? Who am I without any labels of mankind? Or who am I without any labels that I put on myself? through my programs that I came into this life with through my DNA. Who am I without who my father told me I was? Who am I beyond any criticism I got as a child from my father, my mother, relatives, abusers, teachers, peers? Who am I? Our justice system, our school system, our medical system is not sacred. It doesn't teach you how to know you. Our justice system is based on the opinions of people, not whether you did it or not the facts, not the quantum playback, not your intention or what you really did, not even really their own laws, but based on the opinions of a judge, the opinions of jurors who don't know anything about the law, who don't know anything about the subject, and are only allowed to hear the facts that the opinion of the judge says they're allowed to hear. All of this is a game we chose. It's an experience we chose here on Mother Earth in order to broaden our expansion, our belief system, in order for Source to know more aspects of itself. The gurus say, don't take it so seriously, it's not real, and there's no death, and I'm not my body. I get it, but we're having a very real experience. And whether this is real or not, we feel like it's real. Who am I without someone else saying what is fat, or what is thin, or what is right, or what is wrong? Who are you without the labels of mankind, of religions, of schools, of professors? Who are you without any of the systems of mankind? If you look around the world and you don't have any of those learnings, who are you? It's hard to unlearn. We have to look at every single program, every belief, every emotion, and say, is that mine? Do I really feel like that? And that's the key to unlocking them. Is, like the Bashar teachings on, are we, what emotion, what belief must I have in order to feel the way I do any certain day, any certain minute? And when you examine, you go, well, I must believe this or I must believe that. You're like, I don't believe that. Like, who did, right? And I have this background fear that goes, and I'm like, well, what is it that I'm afraid of? Who am I afraid of? Afraid of some childhood person? Afraid of my mom throwing a fit? Afraid of someone criticizing me? And deathly afraid, like just petrified fear of being criticized because your mom put you down 30 years ago. When you look at them, they're absurd and they're illogical. So when you say, what must I believe? It gets cleared. Because you see that it doesn't make sense. But it makes very real sense to my heart, to my programs, to like hearing a noise outside and going, oh my gosh, I'm scared. What am I scared of? A possible intruder? There's no use for fear. If an intruder comes in, I deal with it, right? I might call 911. I might run out the back. I might, who knows what I might do, but I will act. The fear ahead of time is of no use. The fear lives in our DNA and was put inside of us to be controlled. And we chose that in a free will planet plane dimension because we wanted to have this experience. Source wanted us to have this experience. We are Source. We are God. We are the power of the living God. And we can create any life we want. However, we're on a certain board game, right? We move to another board game. We signed up for this reality and this experience. Now, we can change our belief at any moment and shift to a different version of this reality, shift to a more preferred reality. However, we chose to experience this reality, this system of government, this system of military, this system of the world, this game. And we can't really get out of it, even though it's a free will planet. because we consciously chose something before we came here to experience. And we have a mission of how we're going to experience something. And that's just what we're going to do. So, like I said, I found it frustrating, like decades ago, the Abraham Hicks teachings, maybe even the Kryon teachings, that I was creating my reality, right? Why would I create something so depressive or miserable, or to be homeless, or to be sick, or to be to facing massive injustice in the governments and systems of man, to know in my 20s about all these herbs and all these healing methods, and then to see a system that doesn't allow you to use them and suppresses them, still now in 2023 suppresses them decades later. You can't talk about them, right? You can't talk about these things. They're not real. We must hold together governments and systems of man, because that's darkness. And we came here to face darkness and density and opposition, and to see, can we then come back to the light? And we are, and we have, and so many have. When I first learned in my 20s about, well, for example, taxes was so weird to me. I'm like, really? So I go and work, and then I give 30% to the government, and then they send billions to other countries. And I could see it all the places where they sent to other countries. And I seen homeless in America. I didn't understand it. And suppressing known cures. I didn't understand it. Suppressing free energy. I didn't understand it. I now understand free energy needed to be suppressed because it's too powerful if people aren't conscious or coming more from the heart. But I knew in my 20s, via the things I just stated before that we're not free. So if we're not free, and then other countries, even worse than the United States, then how do we have free will? Well, we have free will over our thoughts. We have free will of what's said to us. We have free will of our beliefs to continue believing something. Once we know it doesn't make sense, like if we continue doing something that hurts us, we're continuing to do that. If we, talk to your guides, talk to your angels, call out for a different way. Show me something else, Spirit, that will ease my life. We're in New Earth energy now. We've made it. It doesn't seem like, because there's so much chaos, but there's so much chaos because there's so much light. And so much light is shining every dark corner in the world at large, and also within ourselves. And every time we face one of those and clear it, it's gone forever now in the new energy. And the new energy, things that we tried for decades that maybe didn't work for you, will work now. I'm not saying instantaneously. I don't know you. I don't know where you're at with your thoughts. But if you're honest with yourself and self-awareness, if you face your own darkness, and another key to that is looking at both sides, because in different lifetimes, you've been the abuser, you've been the abused. Okay, you've been the victim, you've been the abuser, you've been on both sides of every scenario you can think of to get perspective. So in order to clear it, look at the other side of it. I'm not saying you have to let people back into your life that abused you or were harmful to you, but looking at it and clearing the energy of it. And when we do this for ourselves, we do this for our lineage, we do this in our DNA, and we do this for the masses. We create a cure, per se, in our energy field. So that way when someone prays for something, it's there. And even other parallel versions of us. What we do right now in this version of us clears our DNA, clears past, our relatives, our ancestors, in the past, but also in the future, because at all times at once. And every version of us in every timeline will feel it. It will be available to them if they choose. Each version of us, like the same version of me in different timelines, have their own consciousness, their own conscious awareness. The aspects of me that are other things, could be a bird, could be, a fairy, could be a tree, anything. These other versions of me will also have access to that energy. And it's also in the ether, in the energetic field, for someone laying in their car and praying, how do I get out of this? I created an energy to get out of that by doing it. I believe. let the sound move through. If your throat is not allowing sound, you feel stupid or self-conscious. It kind of stiffens up your whole body. You know, put your fingers together, breathe, look at the sky at night, spend massive amounts of time alone, and ask yourself, is this what I believe? Is this who I am? Spirit, show me what I need to know. Spirit, what message do you have for me to bring through today? I'm not aware of the timelines per se, of the choices of the presence I have made. I'm not compulsive to conjure the clarity of the conundrum. I'm not aware of the people's persons passing. I don't know who you are beyond the recommendation they have placed. I've not seen the sunshine anywhere in any time that man can disgrace. Mother Earth is not subject to the powers of mankind. Mother Earth is subject to your belief. That is to say, you can move timelines. You can move to versions of Mother Earth you prefer. And no, you can't move to the dark. You can't move to Armageddon and war. Sorry if that's what you're looking for. We already passed that marker long ago. It's like Kryon spoke of, like so many things spoke of. We passed through something and it sealed off forever. And that darkness that reigned is not something we will ever again experience. So many look out now and think, oh, it's so dark, it's so chaos. No, that's the light. The light is being shown in every single corner, and it's not comfortable. But with this, also understanding that it's not the time nor the place for me to partake in a new business, for me to, go out and find my new tribe. People are losing it so they can find it. People are letting go in mass of things that they held sacred and dear. They're letting go of beliefs that they really, really, really thought were theirs. And they're hurting. And they're going to fight and roar and kick and cry. And then they're going to know who they are. And after this settling, this great rendering, then we will find our tribe. Then we will find our community again. For now, we're as light workers and starseeds, we're still alone. And we're processing our own grief and darkness and shadow and becoming more and more self-aware. And understand that you have your superpowers. They're here now. Ask your guides and angels to show you. And I find it frustrating because you run into these walls of like, well, I can't use them yet. Well, no. Because I have to clear this and I have to clear that and I have to clear this. But I do find that every giant chunk now that I'm clearing, I can breathe easier. Life is better. Better things come into my life. Whereas before it seemed like I would think things over and over and over and I wasn't making the progress. I was doing the work, but it didn't seem to be in leaps and bounds. And now it seems to be in really big leaps and bounds. of moving to the timeline that I prefer in ways of comfort. I may not be doing the things that I find joyful every day, or new fun, or new people, new things. I may not be doing any of that, but I am finding relief. I have a home now. I have great, great relief in that. I have great relief in that I don't have anyone expecting anything of me. And I have great relief in the time and space for me to heal me. And I'm healing me by looking at every single aspect of me, looking at every emotion that comes up. Is that mine? Is that someone else's? Looking at both sides of it, clearing it, learning clearer communication with my guides, learning to run energy through. I find through the years that I'd often just stop and be like, well, come on. Just visualizing running energy up through my body really does it? It does. I lay there flat on the bed and I bring energy up through my feet and my body will jerk. I'm running energy through and I'm letting my body move however it wants to move any stuck energy. Talk to your guides. Talk to your angels. It's okay if you don't know their name. Let spirit know what's on your mind. Don't wait for the world to change. Change the world. Don't have to do that either. All you have to do is know your truth. And you'll move to a timeline, to a version of you that matches that truth. Once you know, once your belief moves into knowing, you can try affirmations. There's so much you can do to work on your beliefs, but until you really, really believe it and that belief moves into a knowing, just like, when you sit down on a chair, you know it's going to catch you. When that belief moves into knowing, that's when you shift. And they may be only tiny shifts. For me, the shifts have been relief, better and better life, better and better resources, better and better communication with spirit in a way, and clearing blocks that have been there for decades and decades just by, I had a big one the other day. I cleared after about 40 years by simply letting the person that I had maybe blamed be who they really are. That don't mean I'm like, I'm not gonna let you be who you are. And it wasn't about talking to the person about it. It was about going, wait a minute, who is this person really? And who am I really? Instead of holding someone else responsible for how I feel, saying, let go of any conditions of who I believe that person is. But just see them for who they are. And then, if they're kind to me, I could have them in my life, or could not have them in my life. Make a conscious choice, but not a choice on who I prefer them to be, who I need them to be, who I thought they were, who they might be, but who they are. What they believe, who they are now. And is that in alignment with me? For someone I want to talk to, confide in, hang out with sometimes, hang out with a lot of times. And this helps you to know who you are. And it just clears mountains and mountains of mud out of the way. I sense you're scared. I am a little scared. What are you afraid of? I'm afraid of letting my body bring in information that I might not approve of. Oh. I let my body move however it wants to move. I bring in spirit and I let different energies move around. And I'm getting ready to channel, I think it's a new being. And I'm a little bit afraid to let it. I'm not sure if I'm holding it back. Well, of course you are. See, now I don't know if that was me, because I am quite funny. Or if that was some other entity in the realms. Or the dimensions. Ah. Now I want to say, good day to you, because that's what Bashar said. I feel... I do that often, the jerking. I had healing, my shamanic healer years ago, and she put her hands on both sides of my hips, and my body animated. So she was able to move me without touching me, and it released energy. And since then, this is years ago, I let myself simply just jerk in whatever way the body wants to naturally. And it's funny because I like to sabotage myself. I like to put myself down for some reason. And so I go, well, I made that up, or I did that. And then Spirit will say, well, try to recreate it. And then I'll try to do it again, but I can't. I mean, like, it might look like I can. Like I'm faking it now. So, but the other way, it's loose. It doesn't hurt. Like that just kind of hurt my stomach and it kind of hurt my back, pushing it. But when Spirit does it, when the body just animates itself to move energy, it's very, very different. So I'm trying something different. So let's see here. See, now the neighbor's dog's barking, and I heard some car doors, and my mind's wandering. Is the boogeyman gonna get me? Were the car doors here? Were they across the street? Am I in danger? And I have these background traumas from childhood that go, I'm always in danger. Always got to be alert. And when you assimilate that into a superpower, your hypervigilance can be, well, I'm able to read energy. When someone says something different than what they mean, I'm able to see it for what it really is. It heightens my sense of psychic ability and my intuition. However, it creates this fear. Spirit, show me what you want me to know. I see the blue flame. I feel stupid. I feel like what I have to say is an important sort of a matter. I believe in the power of the living God, and I believe in you. I believe in the power of the living God through you as your chosen experience of being a human being. You are a creator God. You are an aspect of God. Your stories do not meld with times gone by. Today is your now. What you place your focus on right now is your day. And I don't necessarily mean what you're looking at on your screens or what the neighbor's up to. What is your thought, your self-defeating thought, or your kind thoughts about yourself? What is it that you really believe? And what is it that you affirm to yourself constantly in your thoughts and your focus? All these strives for what mankind calls success, and all these laws and these tests and these rules have nothing to do with who you are. Go out and talk to a tree. Who are you then? Go out, sit next to the water and talk to the water, and who are you then? And what do you draw to you? What repels from you? Hard to kind of know what repels from us, right? But we know what used to be there and what isn't now. I'm not sure, Spirit, how to do this. Starting to feel this pressure in my head and in my eyes as I'm bringing Spirit through. I'm going to stop this video and I'm going to do another one after it. So you can stay tuned for that one. I'm going to let myself go somewhere else. So, yeah. Trust yourself. You know, we want to trust ourselves. We have to know who ourself is first, right? Who are we trusting? We're trusting someone else's version of us? We're trusting what society says is a good self to be? Or what the voice in your head, or your parents, your spouse, or your adult children? Well, you know, how do you know who you are with all this other input? You know how you feel. Does it feel good? If you feel good, it's your real self. I love you. Stay tuned for this part 2 here, or next one, or whatever. And I'm going to see what else Spirit has to say. Bye for now.